Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. By Nelson Mandela. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Dr. Anu Sharma, faculty at Amity Law School, Lucknow campus. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all on this online platform. It brings me immense pleasure to announce that today here with us we have a renowned and distinguished personality in the field of law, Dr. Muhammad Asad Malik sir, Faculty of Law, Jamia Millia Islamia, Central University, New Delhi. Now I request our director, Amity Law School, Lucknow campus, Professor J.P. Yadav sir, for the welcome address of the guest. Sir,
Thank you, Dr. Anuj. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of Amity Law School, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow campus, I would like to welcome Honorable guest speaker of this technical session, Dr. Asad Malik, Faculty of Law from Jamia Millia Islamia, on the third faculty development programs on virtual mode on the topic of new legal paradigm and teaching methodology. A hearty welcome to Dr. Asad Malik on this virtual platforms, and I also welcome to all the delegate and participant across the India. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Anuj to carry forward this technical session. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I'll brief about our renowned uh, resource person for today's Asad Malik sir. Sir did his LLM from MJP Rohilkhand University, Bareilly in the year 2000 and completed his PhD from Jamia Millia Islamia in the year 2010. Sir has the vast experience of more than 18 years in the field of education. Sir has been associated as an associate professor at Jamia Millia Islamia, a central university in New Delhi. His area of interest is constitutional law and code of criminal procedure. Sir has published more than 25 research papers in international and national journals and presented 42 papers at international and national conferences and symposium as well as. He has delivered more than 206 invited lectures. It's a huge figure in various programs, IS, that is IS, IPS, IRS, ITS, PCS, HCS, labor commissioners, forest officers, doctors, engineers, teachers training program, and to students of various universities and colleges, etc. Sir has also preside over as a judge in more than 68 international and national moot court competitions, seminar and conferences. Sir was also awarded as Fikr-e Hindustan Award in the year 2013, received from Honorable Mr. Justice Markandeya Karju, Chairman Press Council of India. Sir has a vast and diversified experience and great contribution in the field of law. Sir has a huge CV. If I will read, it will take a lot of time. Without any further delay, I request Sir to take over the forum and enlighten us with this his topic on of his today topics: education and learning through modes of the virtual platform. Sir, please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all participants, colleagues, and directors. First of all, I would like to thank to Amity Law School for inviting me to deliver this lecture on education and learning through mode of virtual platform that in the FDP. And as I think that 1 week is going to complete for this FDP, and during this period of the pandemic, as all we are taking our classes and most of the work is being done through the online mode, and the courts are also become the virtual court. So that is the very interesting and good topic. But this lecture is preponed by Dr. Yadav. So that's why there is no guarantee. Actually, education and learning through mode of virtual platform. First, as just in the introductory remark, Dr. said, with respect to the education, what is the importance and the relevance of the education in the society? Actually, if you will see that the education, as we all know that Aristotle said, education is the creation of a sound mind in a sound body. Sound mind, sound body. And Dr. Swami Vivekananda said that it is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. So it means the education basically greatly influenced by the family environment and by the educational institutions, by the faculty members. And the purpose of the education is to impart knowledge and to dispel the ignorance. So means that the multi-dimensional purposes of the education, not the purpose of the education merely to get the degree. So from this point of view, when we'll see that the education and the learning through the mode of virtual platform, then we will try to analyze the different perspectives. As all we know that the right to education already having the place in the international instrument, and like this Universal Declaration of the Human Rights, Article 26, and also this ICCPR. So means this right to education has been recognized, particularly the elementary education to all the children. And so far as the education, that is, as I just tell you that the Vivekananda said it is a manifestation of man. And education actually secures the material pleasure, happiness, fame, which secures honor at the hand of the state. Because at the hand of the state, why? Because it is the responsibility of the state to educate the person. A man without education, it is to be said, is equal to animal. And in the welfare state, it is paramount duty of the government or the state to provide the education. Because of that reason, when we will see in the original Constitution of India, the Article 45 was there, and even the responsibility of the state to provide the education under the directive principles of the state policy. And then you know that when the Supreme Court of India tried to interpret within the purview of Article 21 of the Constitution, and then it was declared as a fundamental right through the judicial activism. But at the same time, we know that the 86th Amendment Act 2002, which inserted the Article 21A and make the right to education from 6 to 14 years children as a fundamental right. And that says the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all the children of age of 6 to 14 years. Article 45 was also amended that this child care education was incorporated. Article 51A was added, the responsibility and of the parents to give the education to their children. And we know in the meantime, the law was enacted by the parliament, that is 2009, Free and Compulsory Education Act was passed by the parliament. So means there are sufficient legal framework is available, and we just discussed that the fundamental right under Article 21, which is related to right to life and human dignity. For the dignified life, it is necessary the person should have the education or should be educated. Mohini Jain case was the first case where this court held that right to education is a fundamental right. And then this Unni Krishnan, and then TMA Pai Foundation of State of Karnataka. Many cases decided by the court of law where the court held right to education is a fundamental right. And Society for Unaided School, where the constitutional validity was upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court in 2012 of the right of children to free and compulsory education. But here we have to remember one thing. I am trying to link it with the topic. When we'll see that the education, that is not only the purpose to have the degree, just in the beginning I mentioned. In the case of the Santosh Singh versus Union of India 2016, when the PIL was filed in the Supreme Court of India, and the prepare was made that the Supreme Court of India should issue the direction for incorporating the syllabus related to the moral values. In this case, Justice Chandkur held that the moral values are an integral component of value-based education. Value-based education, and the purpose of education is to that engender in the young in a spirit of inquiry, a desire for knowledge, and a sense of values. Among those values are the fundamental values on which our constitutional core is founded. That is liberty, equality, dignity of each individual. And the purpose of the education also include the creation of responsible and informed citizen. So means here this is the responsibility, and you can say the education also inculcate the values among the children. Now the position during the pandemic and how that we shifted towards the virtual mode. as all we know that COVID-19 has shut all the educational institutions for even more than 1 year. And most of the school and colleges have resorted to online education. And if they have requisite infrastructure for the same, that is good. Otherwise, you know that most of the children is not able to attend the classes. While switching to the online mode of education, this attention has been paid to the fact that a sizable population, because not the whole population, sizable population in India is not having the resources to get online education. Mostly the complexities are arising out of use of technological tools for dissemination of the education during this pandemic, because most of the teachers even not well versed with this, and particularly these old age teachers, even if they are not comfortable with the mobile functioning smartphone. So how can we imagine that they will be well versed with this education, online education? Closing of the schools because of the COVID-19, and it harmed the children many ways. Children from poor families particularly have been major victim of this pandemic because of the multiple reasons. We know that due to the loss of job or business or daily work, poor people are on the verge of this starvation. And because of shutting off schools, the one-time assured food for school-going children in the form of the midday meal also get discontinued, and they were forced to work in the agriculture field or otherwise. And another problem that arose because of the inability of the poor children or poor families in accessing the education through the online mode. And this has created a great divide among us the children from two different classes, which was not visible before outbreak. Means when we'll see Article 38, which talks about the minimize the inequalities, but this create the gap, means increase the inequalities as the poor families and the rich families. One side, those people are having all the resources, separate rooms, separate laptop, separate tab. On the other side, there is only one mobile phone in the whole family, and there is no separate room. So these people suffered a lot. And so far as the quality education is concerned, quality education should not be measured only in terms of the teaching in the classroom, but several other parameters also crucial, such as usable toilet, drinking water, electricity, playground infrastructure, and for physical education, sports, library, and medical facility. Means all these requirement by the college or universities to be fulfilled. For example, we are the law student. For legal education, you have to fulfill all the requirement as per the Bar Council of India norms. Same thing happened with the medical council. It means there is certain purposes to have all these kind of the facilities in the institution, and there is a great scope for the this upgradation in the areas of the education and the infrastructure. Online education may be the need of the hour because we can't be static. If you will remember the case of the state of Maharashtra versus Praful Kumar Desai, where the court first time even allowed the evidence through the video conferencing, and where the court also said that we have to grow, means the growth of the living present. Law cannot stand in the old ways. Means you can't go to see the history only. Means according to the need of the time, you have to change yourself, and the society itself is supposed to work. And also the court talks about in this case about the virtual reality, and the court said the virtual reality basically is a state when one may feel, hear and imagine what does not really exist, but it is not happening in case of virtual mode of education. Here really exists, means the teacher is there, the students are attending classes, material is being supplied to the students, and the even there is a lot of problem in the at the initial level. Reason was that you know that according to the UGC norms, according to the university ordinances, this kind of the percentage is required for the student to appear in the examination and the mode of the examination to be conducted. So with this reference, the MHRD has issued the detailed guidelines time to time. UGC has issued the detailed directions for the purpose of the online education. Number of the matters reached to the Supreme Court of India or the different high court with respect to the online education. Even many cases reached to the court of law with respect to the payment of the fee. And recently, you know that the High Court of Delhi even stayed the order of the government and allowed the school to this charge for some kind of the development charges. So means this online education may be the need of our, but the question is that it should be accessible also by the poor class. It should not only accessible to the privileged class. Because of the prolonged spread of this COVID-19, because different variants are coming. First wave, second wave, now there is a question mark whether the third wave is coming or not. And the conventional method of the education may not be very useful and technological tool that will be required for assessing the education. It is the duty, means the responsibility of the government to ensure that children are not deprived of the education because of the lack of gadget, like the laptop, mobile, internet facility. At the same time, that our zeal for technological upgradation, we should be very mindful to the fact that online education cannot be substitute for classroom learning. And it is true, because I have conducted one of the study on the same, just I will discuss with you. And one thing that blessing in disguise, every crisis often said provides an opportunity to learn something useful for the future. It is true in that perspective, even it gives the opportunities, and particularly these MNCs are enjoying it because most of the offices has already been closed and the work is being done from home. तो जो उनका खर्चा हुआ करता उस पे वो सारा बचने लगा. तो एक तरह से कुछ चीजें हमने सीखी भी. And number of the certificate courses, diploma and other courses have been started in different universities, college, foreign universities. And also it reduces the gap. You easily can deliver lecture, just I am delivering lecture from Delhi to Lucknow. Earlier I visited Amity University on 10th June on 2019 when I delivered the lecture in the FDP. So this ongoing pandemic, it provides an opportunity for the educational institutions as well, because they develop the different kind of the softwares and providing the facilities to the teachers and the students. And this new technical interference in an existing system is bound to cause the significant discomfort as well. And time to time there is it is to be said, we not only adjust to it, but technical innovation begins to achieve the perfection. So COVID-19 basically resulted the technical shift, means technological shift in the education system, and most of the higher educational institutions fully shifted to the online mode of the teaching and learning. And this need of the social distancing that will continue to affect the traditional teaching in future as well, as unless or until that the things normal. And it is to be said, it is now a new normal, means the education through the virtual mode is a new normal. And while this online education has many merits, at the same time it has also many challenges. And that challenges, in different form. For example, we are the law student, that moot court competition easily may be conducted through the online mode. Debate may be conducted through the online mode, and mock trial, this can be conducted, counseling, negotiation, arbitration, everything is possible. But so far as these laboratories is concerned, when the person is supposed to work in the lab, particularly in science, that is not so easy. And particularly in our university, the discussion with respect to the MCRC student, because they are supposed to do internship, and this how to this picturize they have to use the camera, but the examination could not be conducted due to this practical aspect is not being fulfilled. So means they face a lot of problem with respect to this laboratories is concerned. So means here this online mode of education, when we'll see that even provide the opportunity to both the teachers, student education, but at the same time lot of challenges. Now the question is, when we will see the case that was decided by the Madras High Court, are Varaneshwaran versus Government of Tamil Nadu, Varaneshwaran versus Government of Tamil Nadu 2020. In this case, the division bench of the Madras High Court, while delivering the judgment with respect to this online classes, then the court quoted Swami Vivekananda, and the court said that Swami Vivekananda said, we want education by which character is formed and strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. And the quote said, a man is both a creator and destroyer. It is true. It is a creator and destroyer. Therefore, he is his own future. A better future can only be secured through the younger generation existing and awaiting. And the process of creating a good citizen has got multiple roadblocks created by the various factors. Education will have to address this seminal issue without deviating towards more literacy in imparting knowledge without character. Because the character is one of the most character certificate issued by the institution. Why? There is some reason. And in this case, the courts had this onslaught of information pouring through the technology. It is imperative to make sure that the children are groomed in the right way. Further, it was added that we know technology as such cannot be faulted, but only its wrong usage. And in this case, the certain guidelines issued by the court of law to be followed for the purpose of the online education. For example, the court said the time limit for the online classes should be strictly adhered to, and any violation would require action. जैसे आपने देखा एक 6 साल की बच्ची का वीडियो वायरल हुआ जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर से रिक्वेस्ट कर रही है कि हमें क्यों इतना होमवर्क दिया जाता है, हम छोटे बच्चे. तो मींस दिस काइंड ऑफ डायरेक्शन इशूड बाय द कोर्ट in 2020 as well कि आप उसकी टाइम में के प्रोग्राम कंडक्टेड will have to send by WhatsApp to the parents and upload it in the school portal. And the concerned school will have to undertake the exercise of identifying the problems being faced by the parents and the teachers in online connectivity and availability of the device. And the schools can also allow the group of students identified by them requiring the special attendance in view of the difficulties faced in online and digital education. And the court said there shall be interaction between school and the parents on the functioning of the online digital education, as many of them may not be digital literate, because most of the people are not even aware, either the parents or the students. So here the court said there is a need that the school must have conduct these kind of meetings with the parents and the teachers, try to know the problems faced by the. So in this regard, because we all know, being a teacher, being a student, being a parent, all face the problem. What problem actually faced by these people? Because this I can express my problem, you can express your problem, and the utility, merit and demerit, both the concept of the virtual mode of the education. So in this respect, I try to collect the data by preparing the 3 different type of the questionnaire, and in which that the teacher's view, parents' view, and students' view. Means what the teachers think about the online education and what is the approach of the student. So I am just discussing with you these responses which I received. So I am starting with this teacher's view. What the teachers think about this online education, or we can say that virtual mode of the education. And even it is true that the teachers it is more problematic in the sense because earlier you have to go in the university and come back. Problem. But now any time you can be called, and the meeting can be called anytime. So means you must be available and you can't excuse, because from everywhere you are supposed to attend the meetings, or you have to take this all. Means sometime it create the problem, you are busy somewhere. अब आपके घर के तमाम लोग कह रहे हैं कि अरे भाई क्या मुसीबत आपने करी हुई. Means the problems created. So with this I asked the question from the teachers, because here we try to cover all these teachers from school to university and colleges. So first question, that a group of the student to whom you teach. So here which is the 93% responses above the age of 17 years, and 3 to 10 years, that is only 0.2 or 3%. And the question, most important question was that the platform which is used by the teachers. Means you know that during this period of pandemic, different kind of the platforms every day we are using, and it is very difficult sometimes. For example, our classes are going on through the Google Meet, delivering lecture, Amity, Zoom, sometime WebEx, sometime other. Means number of the which platform do you use for teaching? Here the Google Meet, that is mostly the more 55% people said that they are using the Google Meet, because most of the government institutions are using this Google Meet. So 55.5% said they are taking Google Meet, and Zoom, 26% teachers said that they are taking classes through the Zoom, and 8.2% through the other, and some of them said they are using MS Team. Then next question was that, are you aware of all the features of this platform? Means the platform which you are using, are you aware? So means here when you will see, even nowadays, this we consider that digital India we are living, but only 41%, 41.8% teachers said they are well versed by using the features of this platform. 45.2% said not at all, but most of the time they said they काम तो चला रहे हो, and 8.9 said just only few features we know, and some said that not sure. Next question was that for teaching, which gadget you use? कि आप क्या चीज इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं जब आप क्लास लेते हैं? Laptop, 71.9% said that they are using the laptop, and mobile phone, 21.9% teachers said they are using the mobile phone, and desktop, very few percent said around this 8% said they are using this desktop. Next question was that, are you comfortable in using virtual platform for teaching? Because this is one of the basic problem we face in the beginning particularly. Are you comfortable in using virtual platform for teaching? Here 54.1% said absolutely yes, and 31.5% said it's necessary, so I am learning. 13% said not at all, and rest of them said not sure. So means here 54% said are well versed, and 31.5 said they are in the learning process, and 13% not at all. And I personally try to contact some of the teachers in traditional universities where no online classes was conducted. Next question was that, do you feel virtual education is compromising with your privacy? Because you know in the beginning when we started this first lockdown when imposed, and I also started to take the classes through the Zoom, and one of my colleagues sent me one of the WhatsApp that that there is a privacy concern and security issue with the Zoom. Immediately I repealed that particular app in the apprehension. So means the right to privacy, we only know that it is a fundamental right, and under Article 21 and Article 12 of the UDHR and Kottaswamy judgment is there of the 9 budget ban. Then the question was that, do you concern with the privacy when you are taking the classes through the online mode? 31.5% said yes, very much they are concerned with the privacy, and 22.6% said not at all, and 26.7% said I am unsure about it. क्योंकि बॉसों को पता भी नहीं है कि जो हम allow, when they ask this allow and terms and condition I agree. So generally we have no option then to accept. Ultimately we are accepting. We don't know the conflict. We are not cyber expert. And recently the government of India issued the direction to the universities and colleges for, and recent today the committee constituted in our university regarding the security, cyber security. So there is some kind of the concern. Next question was that, do you have separate room and other infrastructure at home to take your classes? Here 70.5% said yes, they are having the separate room and infrastructure, but so far as the 29.5% said they don't have infrastructure and the separate room. Another question was that, do you face connectivity issue? अब ये तो जाहिर सी बात है, in the rural areas there is very big concern. So this sometime 76% said sometime connectivity issue. Very much 14.4% said very much, and 9.6% said never they face connectivity issue. Then question was that, which type of the classes is better option? physical classes or virtual classes, sorry, pre-recorded classes or live session, कौन सी ज्यादा बेहतर है? तो 94.5 teachers said live session is better option, and this 5.5 said pre-recorded classes is better. So means 94.5 teachers said that better option is live session. Another question in virtual classes, online classes, what is the percentage of a student attending classes? Means we are conducting classes, but what is the return? Means the student attending classes. Actually, as I experienced when I started, so on the request of my student, I started classes. Sometime I prepared my video, then uploaded it, sometime audio recorded, and then live session. And at that time, used to take the classes through the Zoom, and the number of the student more than 120 out of 140. And then from September 2020, means April 2020, we shifted toward the Google Meet, and September 30 means 1st October, the Google Meet limited the number of the participants up to 100. So means earlier the number of the students very good, but it reduced. This time only 50, 60, this was the number. So it means it reduced. So what was the responses given by the teacher? This 60 to 80% attendance, 32%, 32.9% teacher said the 60 to 80% student attending classes. In the beginning also the same. I experienced. And 40 to 60%, 29.5% teachers said that the attendance is 40 to 60%. 20 to 40% said, this 20 to 40% about the attendance, 16.4 said this is the attendance, and rest of them said the below the 20. Means so overall this reflect that this more percentage below the 60%. Now the question is, because here attendance is not mandatory, or you can't make it mandatory because the student most of the time are not having the this facility to attend the classes. So because of that reason they may not attend, and the government also give the relaxation, and because of that reason no university compel the student for this. Now the next question was that how will online teaching learning impact the standard of education? Means the same standard or there is impacting the standard of the education. अब यहाँ पर सवाल ये था कि स्टैंडर्ड में कितना फर्क और कैसे है. तो what was the responses? Actually it's a positive step and bring good changes. 29.5% said it is a good and positive step and bring the good changes, and 24% said it is not a good step and will harm the level of education. 24%. And 29.5% said it's a temporary thing and will not affect education system much, and rest of them said that I have no opinion about it. So here again you will see that there is a mixed responses, that someone said even in during this period it was good. अब सवाल ये है कि आगे क्या होगा. Virtual teaching learning is an effective way of imparting knowledge. Means effective way, मतलब ये तो काम चला हुआ है तो ठीक था कि it is effective way. Here is strongly disagree. Means 9.6% said they did not agree it is an effective way. 32.9% said yes it is effective way. 25.3% they said this neutral, and 24.7 said they disagree. So means again the most of the teachers said that it is not effective way, even it is alternate may be good but not effective. Then next question, in virtual teaching learning student can retain more. क्या impact किसका ज्यादा है, ज्यादा retain कर पाएंगे या नहीं? So here the again 13% said no, they strongly disagree, and disagree 30.7, neutral that is 29. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि percentage था only 17% of the teachers were of the opinion that it is this virtual teaching learning students can retain more. Otherwise all said no. 83% का कहना था कि नहीं. Then the virtual teaching learning has increased the workload of the teachers, जो अभी हम शुरू में बात कर रहे थे. Increase the workload. So 37% said yes, it increased the workload. 23.3 said no, it is not increased this workload, means strongly disagree, and 19% said disagree, and neutral, that is 17%. Next question was that lack of physical presence in virtual learning hampers the teaching process, as many concepts can be actual classroom only. Yes, actually these responses clearly indicating the teachers clearly said that, and the indication is that most of the teachers were of the opinion that the physical mode of the class, or you can say the face-to-face class, is more effective way of teaching and learning. Reason is that due to virtual teaching, student will not be able to education and such of the virtues which can not by the personal interaction by the teachers. Here you will see that 39% said yes, it is not possible to inculcate all these things, and neutral, there was 10%, strongly disagree 30%, 34%, and 11% disagree. So it means here the teachers view with respect to that we will not be in position to inculcate those values which we are supposed to inculcate when the physical classes are going on. Then the next question was that virtual teaching is more interactive. Again, how can it be possible virtual teaching? Then again the responses, only 16% agree with this. Otherwise, all the other strongly disagree or disagree with this. More than 83.6% said no, it is not a more interactive session. Then evaluation of the student. Next question was that evaluation of a student is difficult in virtual teaching learning, because nowadays the classes are हमारे यहाँ open book exam चल रहा है. Now the students are supposed to write the exam through the open book system. Most of the time the answer is same. So here the agree 50.7% said agree, and neutral, that 11.6%, strongly disagree, that is very few, and 23% strongly agree, that is तो इसका मतलब हुआ 73 or you can say 74% agree with this, that it is very difficult for the teachers to evaluate the student. Next question, ensuring attendance and attentiveness of student is very challenging in virtual classes. And in the beginning there was a lot of problem. Even now the student also very habitual, and this is now this. Here it is very difficult for the teacher to, that is attendance and the attentiveness. And 30% said yes, strongly agree. So means here you will see that around 69% said that strongly agree that this attendance is very difficult. Then the question was that virtual classes can be monitored anytime. It can be helpful in improving the quality of the teaching. 32% said yes, agree, and strongly agree 7.5. Means around 39.7% teachers said that it can be monitored, it will improve the quality. ऐसा है नहीं actually, क्योंकि उसे monitor करना भी उतना आसान नहीं है. Then maintaining discipline in virtual class is very difficult. It is true that only 26% said no, while all said yes, it is very difficult to get the discipline in the classroom. Virtual class saves the time, therefore it gives opportunity to teachers to focus on the quality of content. Agree 28.8%, strongly agree, that is 11%. It means that around 39.8% agree with the question that virtual class save the time and it give the time to the teacher to improve the content of the trend. Rest of it said disagree or strongly disagree. Then next question, that the virtual teaching has given more option to creative while imparting knowledge. Yes, here the 37% said yes, agree, and strongly agree, that is 8.2. It means then again 45.2% agree with this, that virtual teaching have given more option to creative while imparting knowledge. And in virtual teaching, immediate feedback can be given on the test result. Here, 49.3 teachers said yes, agree, and 8.9 said strongly agree, and neutral 19.2%, and 17.8% disagree. Virtual teaching learning has removed distance barrier. It is true. 61.6% said yes. It removed the distance barrier, and now knowledge can be taken from anywhere from the world. Virtual teaching learning must be continued after pandemic. It is one of the most important question. What we think about it should continue or not. Here also the 21%, 21.9% teachers agree with this, that it should continue even after the pandemic, and 10% also strongly agree. It means 32 point around said that yes, it should continue, and rest of the teachers said no, it should not continue after the pandemic, because there is no option of the physical classes. And most of the teacher also written the responses with respect to it, that if the state want to ensure that in internet connectivity, particularly power supply, laptop to each and every learner and teacher, along with the free maintenance, antivirus software, by removing the issues of digital divide, then only the virtual education will play an important role in improving the quality education. And continuous training of learner and teacher and digital infrastructure, that also need to address these issues with respect to. And virtual teaching and learning will lead to the reduction of the quality education, and classroom learning cannot be replaced with the virtual learning in any point of time. And classroom learning has its own magic and charm to impart the knowledge. And it is to be said, one teacher who is very good teacher in the classroom cannot be a good teacher through this online mode. Maybe that person is not well versed with this technique, so that will affect this quality of the teaching. And it is also said that some said it is a revolutionary step. The government should take it very seriously. In future, they have to take. But now you know that most of the circulars issued that 40% teaching should be through the online mode, and the otherwise the classes to be conducted face to face, physical presence. And physical presence of the student in online mode is offline mode is better than the online. Yes, it is true. That I also experienced the physically when we were taking classes, that the attendance of the student is very good. But so far as the online education is concerned, it's not good. So there is a gap between the teacher and the student. And most of the time, as I receive the responses from the student, then just I will discuss some of them. So here that is the with the teachers as well as and one more thing, there is a timetable. For example, we are having the timetable. First time when we started to take the classes, then we did even sometime at 8 p.m. at 9 p.m. sometime in the morning. But this time means last one we are even following the timetable mostly. Otherwise, there is some issue, then different thing. So means here in India, most of the population residing in villages. So this was more than 70% persons are not comfortable with the. Example, me today I am living this. I want to share my screen with you. This problem is with me. I am not able to show you these pie chart and the diagrams. The reason is that is very big problem we are facing with respect to the this technical knowledge of the teachers. And most of the universities and the colleges provided their laptop and desktop to the teachers like the private companies. But so far as the university is concerned, you will see that there is no as such facility was provided, and the teachers are supposed to use their own data, and they have to take the classes from home. And even the salaries of the teachers were reduced by most of the institutions, particularly the private institution. And ultimately, it also affects the quality teaching, because they are not getting the properly this salaries, even up to sometime it is up to 50%, 40%, even some of the institute only give the 25% salary. So actually this is double-edged knife for the teachers sometime, particularly when the salary has been reduced. So on one side they are even performing the more duty, on the other side they are getting the less salary in return. So this is the problem also faced by many teachers, and they have mentioned about it. Now the students, because the teacher there are to do, I try to take the use of the students, and here again this with respect to the group. So more than 96.3% respondent above the age of the 18 years, and only few that were from the 10 to 17 years. Some of the children from the schools, 9th class, 5th class, and also from different universities and colleges. Jamia Millia Islamia, Amity University, Noida, Amity University, Lucknow, North Cap University, Lloyd Law College, Integral, Delhi University, National Law Universities, means to from and also from the different background, law background, LLB, BLLB, BCom, and sociology, psychology, commerce, medical, different kind of the student. Here also the same question I asked, which platform to the student use to impart the knowledge. So that Google Meet 41.9%, Zoom only 10.1%, and MS Team 47.4%. They said they are using the MS Team. Other का इसमें कुछ भी 0.1%. अब अगला सवाल था, आर यू अवेयर ऑफ ऑल इट्स फीचर? अब जाहिर सी बात है हमसे हमारे बच्चे कहीं बेहतर है. When this question was asked, are you aware? The responses are better than the teachers. Here the students, 66.5% students said yes, we are well aware about all the features, and mostly but not at all 30.5. So it means it reflects that more than 90 percent, 95.5% students were aware about this. Are you comfortable in using this platform? The next question which was asked, and 30.37% said completely comfortable, and then 31% said not really, and so completely comfortable around 25 plus 37. So means it is around 62% said they are completely comfortable with this. More or less the same answer as given in the first question. Again, the question with respect to the privacy concern. Do you feel that virtual education is compromising with your privacy? So here 25%, 25.7% students said yes, very much, and 12% it does not matter much, and I am sure about it, 23% said, and 39.3% said I am unsure about it. Then the question was that, do you have your own laptop and gadget for taking classes? Here again 91.8% student, because most of the students from this privileged families. So 91.8% students said yes, they are having their own gadget, and that no, that is few percent. And which gadget you use? Again the question was that laptop, 37.6% students said they are using laptop, but mobile phone the number was big. 59.4% students said yes, they are using the mobile phones for taking the classes. Do you have separate room in your home to take classes? Here yes, 59.2%, and no, 39.5% students said no, they don't have any separate room in the house. Do you have chair and table for studying at home? 74% said yes, they are having this, and 26% said no, they don't have table and chair studying at home. Do you face connectivity issue? Not at all, only 9%. Sometimes 64.6%, and a lot 26.4%. Which type of the class better option? Again, the question with respect to the live session. Teachers also said the live session is better option. So here also 67.6% students said yes, the live session is a better option, and 30.4% students said pre-recorded classes are better option. Then virtual teaching learning is effective way of imparting knowledge. Strongly disagree, 20% disagree, 24 point. Ultimately it reflects 44.4% students had not agree with this, and neutral 36.5%, only 17.8% agree with this, that effective mode of imparting knowledge. In virtual teaching learning, student can retain more. Again, the result was that 24.7% strongly disagree and 30.3% disagree. So it means then again this percentage is more. Agree only 11.6%. Lack of physical presence hampers the teaching learning process, as many concepts can be taught in the classroom only. Yes, it is true that 41.8% strongly agree and 16.1% agree that the more concept may be clear in the classroom, not in the online teaching. Virtual teaching is more interactive. Again, the percentage more than 62% said disagree, and neutral 22.7%. Only 11.2% agree with this, that it is good. And in virtual learning, doubts can not be cleared effectively as compromised classroom teaching. Yes, here again, strongly agree or strongly agree when you will see that this percentage again, that 28.7%, 28.7% that agree or strongly agree. Now this virtual teaching learning has removed distance barrier. Yes, it is again same response as from the teachers. Mostly the agree with this, that around 60% said that yes, it removed the distance barriers. Virtual teaching learning must be continued even after pandemic. Then only 12% agree and 7%, mean only 19% students said yes, it should continue after pandemic. Otherwise, all the 81% students said no, after pandemic it should not continue. That is not a good option for teaching. And even most of the students said it is only option for this time being, and we don't have the sufficient facility. Even some of the students wrote in detail that it is very difficult for us, we don't have the facility. And even some said sometimes the teachers are only reading and reading and reading, not even ready to deliver lecture. And some said that most of the time the teacher sent the material, that is the PDF, which is already available at the internet, and we are not even able, when we ask the question, then sometimes the teacher called it that from where you read. When we said that from the internet, then said we have to read it from the proper resources, and they said we don't have the sufficient even facility of the books at the home. We have no option. We are totally dependent on the material which is sent by the teachers, and we are totally dependent on the classes being taken by the teacher. But mostly the responses even in detail which was written by the student, and they were not even happy with the mode of teaching, and they said yes, it is okay, and time being it may be tolerated, but in future the classroom teaching is good, and we because we are coming here. And one of the student wrote that even earlier my mom used to say you have to take the classes, but now she is not taking seriously. They said when we are taking classes at home, many time our parents send for some work. And one of the students said I am from the farming. उसने कहा मेरे घर में फार्मर है, पापा जब मेरे खेत पे काम करने जाते हैं, मेरी क्लास होती है तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता, तो मैं क्लास छोड़ के पापा का हाथ बटाने खेत चला जाता हूँ. So means this kind of the concern shown. And they said when we are residing in the hostel, and then we are totally focusing on our study, but which is not possible at home, because particularly those families are from the lower middle class or lower class or middle class families, where the students are supposed to work, and girl student and boy student both are supposed to participate. And they said they are having the expectation, for family members are having expectation, when you are sitting at home, then it will be better, you have to participate in the वर्क. हाथ बटाएगा बच्चा हमारा घर पे है, तो हमारा हाथ बटाएगा, अपने काम करने में हाथ बटाएगा. तो मीन्स here तो mostly the students not in favor of this virtual mode of teaching, and they said it as early as possible the physical classes should be continued, but it is not in the hand of anyone, because you know that this pandemic is continuously is going on, so it will depend in future. Now in brief, I am completing within 5 minutes by citing some of the parents responses, what the parents think about the online classes or the virtual class. Because in small classes it is also the punishment for the parents. They are supposed to sit with the kids, particularly KG, nursery, class 1, class 2, class 3. So it is very difficult for the parents. पहला क्वेश्चन ये था, हाउ मेनी चिल्ड्रन टेकिंग वर्चुअल एजुकेशन डू यू हैव? आपके कितने बच्चे हैं जो 46% said only one children is taking virtual classes. 46% said only 2 children are taking classes, and 3 children, that is 5%, and more than 3 only 3%. Now the government is coming with the population law that all the facilities will be divided if you are having the more than 2 children. Age group of the children 3 to 10%, 72% parents. 17 to 10 to 18, 17%, 36%, or above 17%, 14% parents. So it is the percentage of the parents participated in this. Again the same question जो पूछा गया कि आपका बच्चे के पास क्या, do you have a separate gadget? तो इसमें 82% parents said yes, they are having this, and only 18% said no. The question, did you incur extra expenses on gadget for your children? 62% said yes, क्योंकि किसी ने मोबाइल खरीदना हुआ, किसी को लैपटॉप खरीदना हुआ, किसी को टैब खरीदना, तो 62% parents said yes, the extra expenses they occur, and 38% said no. Do you feel that virtual education is compromising with your privacy? वही सवाल था यहाँ भी. Yes, very much. 39% said yes, and it does not matter. 27%, not at all. 14%, I am not sure. Only 20%. Now the virtual online teaching is effective way, वो भी parents का वही question था. तो इसमें भी same, more or less the responses on these questions are same, and mostly this children are missing concept. ये question पूछा गया in virtual learning, the children are missing concept. तो इसमें this agree and strongly agree, means around 87% parents said the children are missing many concepts. Even one of the parents wrote that even I could not able to understand what the teachers teaching. After 2 and 3 days I got what the teachers is teaching, then I try to communicate to my ward. मतलब जो छोटे बच्चे को वो क्या, हमें खुद नहीं पता चल रहा है टीचर क्या पढ़ा रहा है, तो बच्चे को क्या पता चलने का. And there is not enough monitoring on the work done and learned by children. Here the parents said that 54% agree and 25% strongly agree. So it means again that 79% parents said that there is not enough monitoring on the work done and learned by the children, and the student can retain more. Again here this only 14% agree, or this means 24% agree with this, that they can retain more, and otherwise they said no. And with respect to the interactive session with the virtual teaching is more interactive. Here the 53% disagree or strongly disagree, this 17%. So means again 70% not agree with this question. Virtual learning has removed distance barrier. Here again same question. Yes, agree, strongly agree. They said virtual teaching learning must be continued even after pandemic. What was the opinion of parents? Here strongly disagree 34%, disagree 30, means 64% parents said no, virtual teaching learning must not be continued after the pandemic over. So means here again mostly the parents were of the opinion that virtual learning should not continue after the pandemic over, and most of the parents show that virtual teaching is nothing but an ad hoc remedy for those involved in the learning process can never be a substitute of a class teaching, especially for a school student teacher. And it is a good option only for those professionals who want to pursue higher studies only of those courses which do not involve practical lab. जैसा मैंने आपको beginning में कहा था कि उन्होंने कहा कि उन लोगों के लिए तो ठीक है professionals के लिए, but it is not good for the children and particularly these young children, because for junior classes virtual learning is not effective at all, because the children cannot be monitored and they are distracted, turn off cameras and forced respond anyway. So means here neither the parents or students happy with this, and most of the children also, most of the parents also showed their concern that this kind of the problem with the children, like this eyesight problem and many others, sometimes headache, because it is not possible to concentrate for a long time. So they said that it is very harmful for eyes, brain, spinal cord, and also nervous system. Means this was the view of the parents, that it is not good for their kids or for the children, for the health of the children. So it reflects that this virtual mode of the education, as we are discussing, that mostly the teachers, parents, and the students, and all of them that were of the opinion that the virtual mode of the education may be a temporary arrangement during this pandemic, but it will not be helpful and it cannot be replaced with the physical learning and teaching, because the purpose of the education has just been discussed in the beginning, not only to impart this knowledge and only give the degree, but all-round development of the personality. Many things even learn, the student learn when they come in the class, they organize program, how to management system, many things, because this and when they are coming in the colleges and interacting with the other students, with the other departments, CBC system was introduced only with the purpose that the knowledge and this new education policy, even that is also multidisciplinary education they are talking about. So means here we can say that overall analysis of all these three questionnaires, which clearly indicating that most of the teachers, students, and parents were not in favor of this virtual mode of the education. लेकिन क्योंकि मजबूरी का नाम महात्मा गांधी कि हमारे पास कुछ और ऑप्शन भी नहीं है, तो हालात जो है उसमें कहते नहीं, जो भी हालात हो उसमें दिल लगाना चाहिए, जिंदगी का बोझ बस हंस के उठाना चाहिए, चुपके चुपके रात की तन्हाई में सामने गैरों के दिन में मुस्कुराना चाहिए. So here when you will see that during this pandemic online teaching is very helpful, and is even some time you can say fill the gap, and even the facilities with the minimum facilities they have, the student and the teachers try their best, and even the more responsibility of the government, even the government should provide this responsibility, but not even provided, particularly in the rural areas where I personally visited number of the schools, and that in these gram panchayat, then don't know neither the teacher is taking classes nor even in the private school I visited. When Dr. Yadav first time told me, I was in Bareilly. Then I visited my hometown. I met with the principal of the school and I asked that what is the number. He said either they are ready to pay the fee, nor the children are ready to come attend either the online or offline classes. It is totally shut. That is one of the reason, means the huge loss. But ultimately somehow, particularly at this particular level, अगर कुछ एक हद तक नुकसान हुए, अगर ये सारी फैसिलिटी ना होती, मींस दिस डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म वर्चुअल, तो आप सोचिए आप कितना प्रॉब्लम है. वी डिड नॉट इवन single day free, because every time we are busy in our working, study and knowledge. Students also even appearing in the examination through the online mode, so they are doing something. तो इसलिए कुछ हद तक तो बेहतर ये हुआ कि हमारे स्टूडेंट भी इन्वॉल्व रहे, टीचर भी इन्वॉल्व रहे, एंड in this way we did something positive due to the online mode of teaching. So this was my overall conclusion. Dr. Saab, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening session, and definitely everyone has enjoyed. And definitely, so many things which you shared. I loved the figure which you shared with us, and you said so many important things. First was online teaching is the need of our. Everyone is accepting this, but it should be accessible to everyone. And we have seen so many things in front of us, it is not accessible to everyone. Now, online has many merit as well as you said, and it has also many challenges, sir. You said, and the figure of the survey research figure which you shared, definitely, sir, it has given a lot of information to us. I love the figures which you shared, and definitely so many surveys which you conducted it, and it was very grateful, sir, which you shared it. And sir, I have a few questions if you permit me to ask. Sir,
Yes, yes, please.
okay, thank you, sir. Sir, first question is that how you see the future of online teaching or virtual classes in India as far as sir, legal education is concerned, because it saved a lot of money as far as infrastructure. You don't have to spend a lot of money on infrastructure building. You save. How you see the future of this online, sir, in India?
Okay, so far as in India is concerned, that even actually it will work, because as you know, most of the national universities, other institutions have started the online, and government also promoted around 40% courses to be conducted through the online mode. The teaching, certificate courses, diploma courses, and many things. So it means in future in our country also it will work. But the question is, as we are discussing, that how many people or how many students will be benefited through this mode of the education. It is true, after this pandemic will over, then also most of the time many things will be done through the online mode. For example, earlier we used to participate in the seminar and mood court competition, and we are supposed to visit your universities, and your university has to pay the this ticket, means this all DA, and ultimately that is the saving. So most of the institutions know that it will work. Actually, when I am delivering lecture from here, and when I come to Lucknow, so actually it will benefit it to both. For example, if any certificate course or degree course is started, and then the physical mode, that is the fee is very high. So you will prefer that is online. For example, I am giving the example of mine. My daughter is in the 9th class, and my wife many times told me that you have to engage any tutor. Then one day she told me that I have registered for Akash Digital, one of the institute Akash coaching. So मैंने सोचा तो बड़ा महंगा है यार, कहाँ हमारे खैर when they gave the demo, so they told me that we are conducting the foundation program, digital program, online mode, and this is the 4-year course, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you are supposed to pay 1 lakh rupees for the 4 years. So I think that it is very good option, because 25,000 per year. If I will call any tutor, then it will take the more money, and the daughter will be engaged. Then I asked the question, when the physical classes will be conducted, I want to ship my daughter to the physical classes, and he said you have to pay more, means around 2.5 lakh rupees more. So means I am telling that I prefer, because I think that it is more cheapest way, and there is no option this time. There are two options. Number one, there is no physical classes, and number two, I should not wait. It's better I have to engage. So my daughter is taking classes online. So it means in future, and I also received one of the email day before yesterday. One of the institution is going to introduce the certificate course in the particular stream, and they asked me that this is the syllabus we are going to complete within the period of the 4 months, and it will be diploma, and the fee only will be 7 to 8,000 rupees. So means it reflects that in future it will work in India, but that will ratio in comparison to the physical. So physical class again, that will be more beneficial, but by 60 to 40 ratio it will work.
Sir, thank you. Sir, one more question which I have. I have actually two more questions. One is, sir, that I want your own view that impact of online education on the standard of education, sir. Don't the survey figure is okay, sir, but I want your own view how it impact on the standard of education, sir. That's your view, sir.
So far as my view is concerned, as for example, I am a teacher. I started my teaching since 2002 July, and throughout my career, I never deliver lecture whenever I deliver lecture, then standing only. But unfortunately, since last 1 year, this laptop is in front of me and I am sitting. मैं ना कभी रिविलेशन ड्यूटी में बैठा और ना भी क्लास में बैठा, नंबर 1. दूसरी बात, मैंने कभी देख के लेक्चर अपनी लाइफ में नहीं दिया था, लेकिन अभी क्या होता है, जैसे ये सर्वे था तो अभी मुझे देखना पड़ रहा है. तो इस अगर ये वैसे मैं गया होता आपकी क्लास में, हो सकता है मैंने वो दिखाते पढ़ते बाकी में सब ऐसे ही बोल देता. दूसरी बात, स्टूडेंट, यस, अगर मैं क्लास में ओपनली आई एम टेकिंग क्लासेस फिजिकली, then I have more control and I ask the question and students are very attentive. This time when I am taking classes, even that the 2 subjects I am taking very crucial subject, sometimes when I ask any question to their student may respond or may not respond, sometimes they will disconnect, then there is a connectivity issue, and they are all even not even concentrating, and it is affecting both teachers as well as to the students. Why? For example, if I am taking classes through the online mode, and most of the time you prepare your lecture and you have the laptop in front of you and you are delivering lecture, you will not be able to deliver lecture without the help of your laptop or without notes. Then it is ultimately जो आपके पास capacity थी retaining वो आपकी कम हुई. So understanding means when you are delivering lecture in the classroom, all of a sudden many things came in the mind, and all of a sudden number of the questions from the side of the student. Now this is lacking in the virtual class. Even the student asking classes, but the percentage in my class, earlier the more than 90% students used to participate. Nowadays only 20 and 25% students are asking the question. And so far as the standard is concerned, so that is only, you can say that this is only for working purpose, or you can fulfill the requirement. Otherwise, in no way it is benefiting either to the student or to the teachers. But we have no option during this pandemic. Because of that reason, we are taking it as alternative mode, and ultimately it is going to affect the standard in future. For example, when we visited number of the time the public service commissions, then we used to say that the standard of the legal education is going very down. But during this period of corona, that is going or more down, means जहाँ थे उससे और नीचे जाने लग गए. रीजन के हम कई कोर्ट डिबेट बच्चों को जबरदस्ती करके सामने होता था, भाई आप इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर दो, आप इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर दो, 3 बार कहते थे, वो लिहाज में करना पड़ता था उसे. आजकल तो उसे नहीं, कुछ हमारे सामने है नहीं, हमने कोई मैसेज डाला, only the few students are responding and they are participating. So means most of the students जो उन्हें फायदा मिलना चाहिए था वो मिल नहीं पा रहा, because of reason we are not interacting with each other face to face. Many things, वो कहते नहीं नजर से नजर मिलने, जब सामने हम बैठे होते हैं तो बहुत सी चीजें अपने आप ठीक होती है. So this is the problem.
So can we assume that chalk and duster cannot be replaced by sir or this virtual classroom, or no? मतलब
देखिए साहब, इसमें मैं एक बात कहूंगा. एक्चुअली देयर इज वन थिंग विद मी इन माय लाइफ एज ए टीचर, आई नेवर यूज द चॉक. मैंने तो कभी चॉक और डस्टर इस्तेमाल किया ही नहीं अपनी जिंदगी में,
ट्रेडिशनल,
इसलिए वो तो मैं तो नहीं. वैसे हाँ, एज वन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट इन रिस्पॉन्सेज, एक बच्चे ने लिखा है इसमें जो आपने सवाल पूछा, तो ये रिस्पॉन्सेज में उसने लिखा कि दैट इट विल बी बेटर व्हेन द टीचर विल यूज दैट पेन. मतलब जो हालांकि हमारे स्कूल छोटे बच्चों में वो टीचर इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, that they are using this some kind of, and you can see here this screen, and they are solving the problem. And even I hope that it will, the chalk and duster will that will replace, means in future we hope. कहते नहीं उम्मीद पर दुनिया कायम है, तो इंशाल्लाह उम्मीद है कि in future that things will be normal and the teachers in Lucknow University even, हाँ एक जगह हुआ है इस्तेमाल. When I was in Lucknow University, Lucknow, there was very good practice in Lucknow University. When the teacher entered into the classroom, then one peon will come with the chalk, duster, register, and one glass water, and that water will be on the table. And when the teacher will complete the class, then the peon will come and will take all these things. So it was the culture in the Lucknow University when I was there. So one first time I used the chalk there when I was teaching the federalism, I remember. So actually this chalk and duster culture, we hope that will return, and उम्मीद तो है होगा, वापस तो आएगा, क्योंकि अभी भी जो मिडिल एज टीचर्स हैं, मतलब जो जनरेशन, जो न्यू जनरेशन इज कमिंग, दे विल नॉट यूज, बट मोस्टली दीज ओल्ड एज जनरेशन टीचर्स विल यूज इट एंड दे प्रेफर टू यूज इट. और जब तक उनके हाथ उसमें ना सने, उन्हें लगता नहीं है उन्होंने कुछ पढ़ाया भी. जी,
thank you, sir. Sir, in your survey you said that 88% not interested in continuing with this online teaching, and we hope that after pandemic the things will get soon, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us. and huge knowledge, vast knowledge. Thank you. Now I would request and hand over the forum to Dr. Akshita Srivastava, faculty at Amity Law School, Lucknow, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. Akshita Srivastava, Assistant Professor, Amity Law School, Amity University, Lucknow, would like to thank our guest speaker, Dr. Mohammad Asad Malik, who, despite his busy schedule, has found time and enhanced our knowledge on such an important topic. Furthermore, I would thank to our director, Professor Dr. J.P. Yadav, for showing faith on us to execute this event. I also thank to Dr. Tapan Kumar Chandola and Ms. Josna Singh, faculty convener of the event, for their support and cooperation. Lastly, I would thank Dr. Anuj Kumar Sharma for moderating this session and all faculty members as well as participants for making this session a success. Once again, thank you everyone. Thank you, sir.
So, Dr. Ashad Malik,
Thank
we
you,
are
thank-
grateful
thank you very
that you
much.
spare time for all of us, and we are thankful. And whenever we invite you, you always ready to appear to deliver your extraordinary deliverance. For that, we always be grateful to you. Thank you very much for spare of time. And both time, yeah, last FDP as well as in this FDP, we shifted your session just because of some urgency. For that, you also cooperate and ready to deliver before your scheduled session. Thank you for that, and a special gratefulness for towards you from all the faculty and all the organizer of this third FDP. Thank you very much.